those top 4 seeds. What's the mentality for this one game at a time?
Well, it's one pitch at a time, and it's how quickly for Texas A&M can you find the pitch that Ashley Rogers throws that you want to attack?
How quickly can you make an adjustment and win every single inning? Try to put up at least 1 run every single inning would be my goal in this tournament.
We are less than 3 minutes away from first pitch between A&M and Tennessee. We're looking ahead. The winner gets the 2 seed Arkansas Razorbacks in Thursday's round 2. We'll be here with you at the end of this one, but right now let's get it over to Eric Freed and Amanda Scarborough, who are on the call.
Hey everybody, Beth Mowins and Michelle Smith with you tonight for a doubleheader from the SEC Softball Championships. Texas A&M, the Aggies are looking for their first ever SEC tournament victory. And for the Tennessee Lady Vols, a shot at a 3rd SEC tournament crown. Already had a couple of games today in the books with Amanda and Eric. And we watched Mississippi State beat Ole Miss and LSU take care of business against South Carolina. They set up the early matchups tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Coming up next will be Kentucky and Georgia in our final game of the day. Hi everybody and welcome to Rhodes Stadium, aka the Rhodes House, for the SEC Championships. Beth Mowins along with 2-time Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith. One of the things we love about this tournament, Michelle, number 1, the fans are back and they are bringing the energy. And number 2, this thing, when the family's all together, is an absolute free-for-all.
Absolutely, Beth. You know what? This is postseason softball. And in postseason softball, you never know what you're going to get. And that's exactly how the SEC tournament has been year in and year out. Why? Because there's so many different contenders for it. 6 different champions in the last 10 years.
Alabama is back home in Tuscaloosa. They are still the only team in history to win the title on their home turf. And it would be unprecedented for the Florida Gators as they go for a tournament three-peat. So let's get ready now for Tennessee and Texas A&M. If the Lady Vols are going to make a run at this championship, Smitty, Kiki Malloy will probably have to play a huge role.
Yeah, and Beth, Kiki Malloy is a superstar. Why? Because she has speed, she has power, she is just so dynamic on so many different fronts. 36 stolen bases on the year, but how about those 13 home runs? So just a big part of the offense for the Volunteers.
And you talk about how loaded the SEC is in terms of the depth. Haley Lee may be an All-American this year for Texas A&M. Didn't even crack the first team all-league somehow.
Well, and that's because there's so many great catchers in the league, first basemen in the league. But look at those numbers, 22 home runs on the year. She is dynamic as well. She's strategic. She can sit on pitches, and that's why she is leading off the game for the Aggies, because you know what? They want to make sure she can get as many at-bats as possible in a game.
Last 6 games for Lee, she's hitting .500 with a home run, and she will face another All-America candidate in Ashley Rogers, Michelle, perhaps amongst the handful of best pitchers in the country.
Yeah, she is a strikeout pitcher. Look at that, 253 Ks on the year to just 39 walks. She controls the zone. She's a lot of fun to watch, not a lot of fun to hit against.
Underway in our evening session and our first round coverage of the SEC tournament. There is a look at Bree Warren in the 3 spot in the lineup for the left-hander in the middle there of a 4-player stretch of lefties. Does have to cut down on the strikeouts. She is looking to make sure she gets some contact and puts the ball in play today.
Just great numbers for the freshman. Protecting Lee and Herzog, trying to make things happen from that 3-hole.
Low in the zone, and a 3-pitch strikeout for Rogers. Well, that didn't take long.
That's what Ashley Rogers can do. She can strike you out in a hurry. Why? Because she's got that live arm. She's going to have effective velocity through the mid-60s, a commanding rise ball at the top of the zone. But she'll also work low. She's worked very hard this year to develop a curveball on both sides, as well as a drop ball to complement that rise.
Rogers can throw some smoke after coming back from being away from the game last year. Here is Mackenzie Herzog, the junior from Missouri City, Texas, started out her career at Florida State and then decided to head back home to Texas. And has been terrific for the Aggies at the plate and in the circle. Good two-way player for them. She's in the DP role tonight. Here, Craig Snyder, their assistant coach, out of the dugout. Lay off the high stuff. Easier said than done against Rogers. To the track, and that one will fall. It got behind Kaylin Hannon, who probably would have been better served to give way there for Kiki Malloy coming over from center field. And it's misplayed at the base of the wall. And Hannon and Malloy are going to chat about it.
On this, a pitch on the outside corner. It's just in the sweet spot. Herzog just tattoos that to the wall, and you're right, Beth, a little better communication. You could see that Kiki Malloy is watching Hannon come over. That's probably Kiki Malloy's ball. And so that is the 15th double of the year that Ashley Rogers has given up.
And here is Bree Warren stepping in from the left side. Oh, 1 pitch, waves at that one away. 0-2. Boy, if you're a Tennessee fan, you are loving the efficiency with which Rogers is going to work right now. Just missed it away.
Go.
She did go. 2 down.
Well, there's that rise ball again that's so jumpy at the top of the zone, hard to lay off of. It gets up in your eyes, and you try to hold up, but you just can't. Look at the rotation on this ball. So she's going to start it at your belt. It's going to end up at your shoulders. Just a great rise ball by Ashley Rogers.
It's fouled out of play by Morgan Smith, batting in the 5 spot, the right fielder. Sophomore from Lake Jackson, Texas. She and her twin sister Megan, both on the Aggie roster. Grew up a big Tori Vidalis fan, the superstar slugger from days gone by in College Station, one of their all-time greats. Just underway, evening session from the SEC tournament. The winner of this one will take on the 2-seed Arkansas tomorrow. The Razorbacks, regular season co-champs with Florida, first ever title for the Hogs. And for Florida, make that 13 years in a row now that either the Gators or the Crimson Tide have had at least a share of the regular season crown.
Just so much excellence in both those programs, but the Razorbacks in now, showing what they can do. And Beth, that's the reason why I do love this tournament. This is where the automatic qualifier comes out of. So any team, 1 through 13, has the opportunity to potentially punch their ticket through this tournament.
And of course, the other storyline that is woven through the next few days is there are teams here that are competing to host regionals and super regionals for the NCAA tournament, and in some cases perhaps even head-to-head could be huge for the selection committee based on some of the games this week. Tennessee amongst the teams, by the way, that could be a host. And after the walk, 2 on with 2 outs here, we'll bring up Ashlyn Walls. As Megan Rhodes Smith, the former Tennessee All-American, is out to chat with Rogers. There will be 16 sites chosen from these 20 programs, and you'll find out when we do, when we unveil the field of 64 on the selection show Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. The mayhem is underway. The road to the Women's College World Series upon us. Postseason softball from Tuscaloosa. Aggies would love to strike quickly, Michelle, but if not, they certainly would love to start ringing up a high pitch count for Rogers. When we talked to head coach Jo Evans this week, she said, hey, if we can get to the bullpen, the sooner the better.
Yeah, Tennessee is definitely one of those clubs that has a defined ace, and that is Ashley Rogers. So if you can knock her out of the game, you've done yourself a world of favors.
Already a couple of strikeouts for Ashley, and then the Herzog double and the walk to Morgan Smith. And the early opportunity for Ashlyn Walls. .222 with runners in scoring position on the season for Ashlyn. She's been terrific, better than a 300 hitter with 2 outs this year. And reaches for the rise. 3 strikeouts for Rogers. The threat is put down. Ball's picking up the bats when we come back to the SEC tournament, Smitty.
Well, Rogers just showing why she's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the country. The rise ball, it's hopping here at the Rhodes House.
Of the season nationwide, the transfer from Arizona, bringing what they knew was going to be a really good glove at short, and she's brought the big bat as well. And a couple of first pitch swings for Tennessee. Ayala drives it out to right.
Oh, and how about Ayala sitting on that changeup, first pitch swinging at it, and just really good job of barreling this up. Super explosive. Look at the hip rotation. Great barrel control to drive that ball into right field. First hit of the game for the Vols.
That'll bring up Ashley Morgan. Both these teams arriving in Tuscaloosa looking for a fresh start. The Lady Vols lost 4 of their last 5 down the stretch. Strong RPI, solid strength of schedule, and a combination of power and speed. They lead the league in stolen bases, and that is laced out to left center. And a base hit, and on the move is Ayala, and she will take third, and on the throw into the plate, Morgan scoots over to second.
And how about the hitting by Ashley Morgan? Take a look at where this pitch is on the outside corner. It's in the river, and she just extends and gets it and drives it the opposite way. Beautiful piece of hitting. Little bit of a slide by Fortenberry in the outfield. Looks like she loses her footing, but this ball gets in the gap, and with the speed of Ayala, easily going to make it into third. So the Vols cooking here in the bottom of the first.
Texas A&M had a chance in the top half of the inning, turned away. Now 2 in scoring position, and another first pitch swing. I guess we know what was at the top of the scouting report, Smitty.
Aggressive early.
They are jumping right into the tournament with both feet. Allie Shipman, terrific second half of the season. In particular for Tennessee, the junior from Southern California. Batting average creeping up a little bit closer to 300. And has some pop in her bat. .66 miles an hour on that offering from Pointer.
A&M is going to have their middles in. Wiggins, Walls pulled up, trying to see if they can get Ayala at home. You can take a look at them here in the corners. Excuse me, at the middle. And the corners will be at the bags in case anything gets dumped down.
After a couple of base hits. Opening day at the SEC tournament, if you couldn't tell from Smitty's drawing inabilities there, we're going to work on those deficiencies as we continue throughout the week.
I picked up the proper pencil instead of using my finger.
First time on site in a while, folks, and we are excited to be here just to hear the fans and the crack of the bat and smell that freshly cut grass. Shipman almost wiped out Riley West, who's on deck, had to dive out of the way.
That looked like a cricket, like a backward hit.
Little cricket bat?
Yeah, it's hard to do. Take a look at the way that she actually went through her own legs.
She nutmegged her.
That's impressive.
Shipman drives one out to center. Will it be deep enough? Ayala will try and score. They won't even try and get her at the plate. And Allie Shipman with the sac fly, 1-0 Tennessee.
It's a great job at getting it done, getting a run in, driving that ball just deep enough, and speed. You know, we talk about a lot of these clubs in the SEC and how important speed is. Tennessee uses it to help pick up a run there with that sacrifice fly.
So with 1-0. And still a runner in scoring position, Riley West. Looked a little bit like Adam West, Batman diving out of the way of that foul ball a second ago. Freshman from Eastvale, California. She's the DP today. We thought we might see her at second base. Tennessee is interested, Michelle, in getting another bat in the lineup, and they like hers.
Well, and that's always what it's about this time of year, is putting that most productive offense in that lineup and putting those runs up on the board and then defending it.
That's in for a strike.
And obviously, too, Beth, when you have a pitcher like Ashley Rogers in the circle who's going to get the lion's share of the outs via the strikeout, it also helps you to be able to put your most offensive lineup in and then defend the lead once you get it.
That one, a lazy liner to third. Side is in the league, and then things took a turn for them. Haley Lee's been terrific, 22 home runs. That's fourth best in D1. They have a strong enough resume for the NCAA tournament. What they'd really like to pick up today for Jo Evans, now in her 25th season, is their first ever SEC tournament win. They are 0-6 since joining the league. And Jo, one of the winningest ever, over 1,200 career victories, with 5 trips to the Women's College World Series. Back in the early days of the NCAA, before Jo, they did bring home a couple national championships. Bill Brock. This is 6, 7, 8 in their lineup. Shaylee Ackerman, the pop-up in foul territory, 1 down.
Well, it is a big bonus to have Ackerman back. She had been injured the last couple of SEC series, so having her back in the lineup is going to help them tremendously.
Trinity Cannon getting the start today at third base, the freshman from Forney, Texas. These two teams did not play each other in league action, but they did decide to get together for a non-conference game early in the season. A 3-2 win for Tennessee, decided by 4 home runs combined, and Trinity had one of those for the Aggies.
This is an Aggie team that can swing it. I mean, they have a lot of power. They can hit very well. As of late, their issues have just been able to keep the lead. Lost a couple of games to Florida in the last weekend of the SEC, and it's really just about, once they get the lead, staying composed and using their pitching and their defense to defend it. And it's one of the things that Coach Joe Evans talked about that they really need to focus on here in the second season.
Finish was a key word for her this week. They've been close. 4 of those 6 losses by just a run, 1 of those in extras. But a tough task today against one of the SEC's best flamethrowers. Rogers with the 3 strikeouts already today. And a called strike 3 on a 3-2 pitch.
Rogers' just innate ability to move the ball around the zone. She'll attack you low with the curveball, but it's typically the rise ball that will get you. This is a low rise. She's learning to throw this on multiple planes. That one is just right down Broadway, right at the belt. And you can see Cannon walking away knowing that she took a good one.
So you got your rise, Smitty, which looks to the batter like it's coming right down the middle and then rises up out of the zone. What's the trajectory of the low rise, which we're seeing a lot more of?
So we're seeing a lot of pitchers really start to bend and dig deep on the release, throw it at the knee to get to the belt, so knee or quad to the belt, and then typically it's that high rise is the one that gets in your head, and that's the reason you don't swing at the low rise. And so really rise ball pitchers can be a master of just messing with your head as a hitter, because you identify that rotation, you think rise, you lay off, it's low in the zone.
Booted by Segern at third, and a 2-out base runner here with Rylan Wiggins reaching.
This is one of the things that Karen Weekly says, that we have to be good defensively. You're not going to get a lot of chances when Rogers is in the circle. So when we do get routine plays, we need to make them. And that ball just off Segern's glove.
And just to finish up our conversation, the high rise looks like a strike and it ends up not.
Correct.
The low rise looks like a ball and it ends up taking your knees off for strike 3. The throw down to second. And Wiggins will advance. And another runner in scoring position for the second inning in a row.
Looks like a rise ball just pops out of Allie's glove. Good job by reading that by Rylan.
Kelby Fortenberry, the number 9 hitter, as we often see in softball. That number 9, very similar to your leadoff, the lefty slapper. Try and line up a few lefties in a row. A&M actually is a little unique. They go with righty Haley Lee in the top spot on deck here behind Kelby.
They've switched that around a little bit, just making sure that Lee picks up enough ABs or it actually gets thrown to and it not intentionally walked. Mackenzie Herzog had been leading off for the Aggies.
In the dirt, Shipman able to keep it in front and keep the runner at second base. Aggies trying to reverse course after a late season skid, 6 straight losses to Kentucky and Florida. Florida with a couple of walk-offs, and on Sunday, the Gators win, got them a share of the regular season championship and the overall number 1 seed in the tournament.
Well, and that's what Coach Evans talked about, just disappointed against Kentucky, also the walk-offs against Florida, just learning to finish games, get themselves mentally in a position to be able to close everything out. And that's really what this time of year is about. The postseason is about being able to close out games, get those timely hits, and protect what you have.
In the circle, look at the opponent's batting average and their team ERA, solid behind Ashley Rogers. They've come out aggressive tonight, Michelle Smith. A lot of first pitch swings in that first inning. They grabbed the early lead.
Well, and they know against Pointner with that off-speed ability to hit early in the count, try to eliminate that pitch, makes their job a lot easier. But this is a Tennessee team that, you're right, Beth, when you really go in and dissect their season, they were just a couple wins away, couple games away from really being contention of the regular season.
I knew you were going to get that phrase in because that's what Karen Weekly talked to us about when we spoke with her this week.
Yep.
How much she loves to dissect the game.
It gives you a lot of good information when you really go back and study it and talk about different opportunities.
It's a strike to Chelsea Segern, 6-7-8 here for the Lady Vols. She used a great phrase. She called them hard moments. Win our at-bats, win our pitches, allow ourselves to give the game our very best in those hard moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And she called it intentional learning. You have to go back and learn from it. It's not experience if you don't learn from it. You can continue to go through and play the game, but if you don't learn from the time that you've been on the field, you're not gaining experience. And so I love that, the intentional learning that you have to go back and consider.
Karen and her husband Ralph, 19 seasons now at Tennessee, 7 trips to the Women's College World Series, twice Tennessee, oh so close. Reached the Champ Series in 2007 and 2013. Called strike 3.
Pointner is going to put this drop ball in the outside corner, and this is a well-located pitch on the edge. That is something with 2 strikes that Segern has to go after. You got to get the barrel off of your shoulder and go attack that pitch.
Emrys Addison, our home plate umpire tonight. Ron Alexander at first, Steve Gould at third. Gorgeous night, 70 and sunny as it starts to set to the west. Beautiful facility here. The late, great Ann Rhodes, who meant so much to Alabama softball. You'll be hearing us talk about Ann a lot this week. Recently passed away. And one of the great venues in college softball bears her name. A lot of Crimson Tide faithful thinking about her this week. 0-2 to Ivy Davis. Waits on the off speed. Skies it out to shallow center. Fortenberry 2 down.
Number 24, Kaylin Hannon.
Kaylin Hannon is the batter here in the 8th spot in the lineup. Left fielder tonight for Tennessee. Pitch. Rips that to second base and wall.
They moved her up into that leadoff spot at the Florida Series. She was hitting second behind Herzog, and it really, you know, Beth, it's just about getting her as many at-bats as possible. And in the leadoff spot where it's really tough to pitch around her.
New single season record for the Aggies is within her reach. Megan May at 24, so she's 2 back. Jo Evans loves her high softball IQ. She works a lot with Craig Snyder, the assistant coach, working on hunting pitches. Starting to hear that phrase a lot more from coaches around the country.
Yeah, really being strategic in your thinking, your game plan.
There's Craig, who was on the national championship winning staff at Florida State before coming to College Station. Top of the order is back up. They went 1 for 8 the first time through. 4 of them struck out, 2 of them looking. but they are bumping up that pitch count on Rogers.
On the first game of the season, when Rogers did throw against them, she threw just a tad over 100 pitches.
Got another one. 5th strikeout for Ashley. One down.
How do you get one of the best hitters in the game out? You've got to pitch around him very gingerly, and this is exactly what Rogers does. Curveball on the outside corner, foul it off, and she's going to take a little bit off on the drop ball, come back underneath the hands, really work the hands to make sure that she is set up for the rise ball. And look at this rise ball. She puts it up in her eyes, so she doesn't show Lee the rise ball until she gets her with it on the strikeout.
All SEC performer Rogers averages over 10 strikeouts per 7 innings. She's already halfway there. Number 5 in the nation this year in strikeouts. Number 6 in wins. She was on our Zoom call this week, and when we asked her what pitch has been working well for her lately, she kind of blushed and said, well, you know, my rise.
It was cute the way she said it.
There was an unspoken duh at the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was cute the way she was like, well, everybody knows me for my rise ball.
Yeah.
So I've been working on my curveball, my drop ball, and I love to hear that because you have to be like a chameleon. When you have a really good pitch, people learn it quickly and they try to avoid it at all costs. They know that that's your strikeout pitch. That's the one they try to lay off of. Easier said than done. But she's learning to effectively work other pitches in other parts of the zone to make that rise ball better. The amount of swing and misses she gets has just been incredible.
Terrific shape physically and mentally after missing last year with the back injury. Got herself right in 2020. And has been a force for the Lady Vols at 23-9 with a 1.29 ERA this season. Here's the 2-2 to Herzog. Full count.
Yeah, that's 184 innings on the year. So, I mean, she knows every day she's going to be warming up. She's going to be in the game at some point, protecting leads if she's not the starter.
Herzog looking for more extras. Back and off the scoreboard, gone. Solo home run Herzog, and that's the problem when the rise doesn't rise. 17th home run hit off of Rogers on the season.
Absolutely, Beth, and she's given up her 15th double of the year in the first inning and the 17th home run going off of the bat of Herzog, a rise ball that Herzog is just going to elevate it out of the yard so she gets under it, great angle, and with enough power, that ball is punched out of the yard, so the Aggies tying it up.
Double and a home run on the day for Mackenzie Herzog. That's the second home run she's hit off of Rogers this year. Hit one in the regular season meeting. Meanwhile, the left fielder, Kaylin Hannon, is trying to work through an issue with her leg. Looks like she did something when she crashed into the wall. Yeah, left knee.
A lot of time those pads out there are obviously in the middle, but where there's seams at times there can be hard parts of it. Does not feel good when you go into those walls hard.
Yeah, she's still working on it. Right in front of the Alabama Academic All-American Chandler Dare. That's the images on the outfield fence here at the Rhodes House. A strikeout of Bree Warren, 2 down. That's number 6.
Right fielder number 23, Morgan Smith.
Fouled off by Morgan Smith. Morgan walked back in the first. Winner of this will face Arkansas in the quarterfinals tomorrow night. They are on the same side of the bracket as Alabama. Arkansas the 2 seed, the Tide are the 3 seed. Top-seeded Florida has Mississippi State tomorrow, and then a 4-5 matchup in the afternoon, Missouri and LSU. Tigers and Tigers.
That'll be a good one.
South Carolina was trying to pull off the 3 Tigers in a row, Auburn, LSU, Missouri. They were halted on that adventure earlier today. Safari, that's the word I should have used there. We are tied at 1-1. 2 outs here in the top of the third for Morgan Smith.
A&M continuing to be very aggressive off of Rogers, raising that pitch count now up over 60 pitches. It's here in the top of the third inning, and this is where they start to continue to make adjustments, or try to, against Rogers. Second time through the lineup.
See, now this is the opposite of what Texas A&M was hoping for. We want the walk before the home run. We want a 2-run job instead of the solo. At any rate, they'll take the 2-out base runner here with Ashlyn Walls stepping in.
Second baseman number 20, Ashlyn Wall.
And that's a couple of free passes. Also an error on the Tennessee defense, so 3 freebies.
Well, it always is interesting how we write up lineups. So earlier in the year when A&M played Tennessee, Herzog hit in the 5th spot. So she was down the lineup a little bit. They've moved her up. She's been leading off. Now Lee is leading off. So it's always interesting how you're trying to put people on. You know, we like to call them those table setters. I mean, you wouldn't think about Haley Lee being a table setter. She's just...
She's a table breaker.
Exactly.
Walls overmatched for the second time. She has struck out as Rogers gets her, but Herzog got her first.
Herzog taking a rise ball out of the yard, a double in the first run.
SEC regular season, Arkansas and Florida sharing the regular season title. SEC tournament is now underway. Florida is going for an unprecedented three-peat in the SEC tournament, but this is always a crazy family gathering, the SEC tournament. 6 different champs in the last 10 years, including an 8 seed, Ole Miss, in 2017.
Well, not really. If you think about what Ole Miss did in that season, it really came down to this tournament. It jump-started them, and once they had the momentum coming out of this SEC tournament, they were outstanding. Hosted to regionals, won a regionals, and then went out to UCLA.
Led by Melissa Lee. That year they went 4-0.
Yep.
And that's what is the task at hand for the teams playing today. You've got to win 4 games in 4 days. But here you go. You ready? The last 6 years, the seeded champions, a 6, a 1, an 8, a 4, a 2, and a 5 seed have taken home SEC hardware. Those are your seeds. I mean, it's all over the board.
Yeah.
Just once for a 1 seed.
Well, and that's, to me, what is amazing. It just shows how hard it is to win the tournament. Even when you are in those top 4 and you get the bye, you're not playing until Thursday.
Last 2 years, all 13 teams reached the NCAA tournament. Looks pretty good that will happen again. Selection show is Sunday night. The SEC championship game Saturday night. Anna Fox in the 9 spot, then the top coming up for the Lady Vols. Chopped down the line at first. Call that a foul ball, so Fox will come back. Little SEC tournament history for you. Florida, Alabama, and LSU are your 5-time champs. They have ruled the roost. And that is the rest of the list. Never to have won it, Arkansas, Kentucky, Missouri, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State. Arkansas has a good shot this year. Kentucky was in the SEC tournament final 2014. If you're high on the Hogs, they are in the house.
That's a program that can do it all. Great defense, great pitching, lots of home runs.
Ground out to Walls, 1 away. Top of the order, and Kiki Malloy. Yeah, they had the co-pitcher of the year in Mary Half. The coach of the year, Courtney Deifel. Bailey Hemphill of Alabama, your player of the year, and her teammate Montana Fouts, the other co-pitcher of the year. Malloy trying to drop it down. You talk about 5-tool players nationwide, Michelle. Tennessee thinks they've got one of, if not the very best, right here in Malloy. She does it all.
Yeah, and I love the way that she's reading the defense, and Ashlyn Walls, the second baseman, was way up the middle, and so trying to put the bunt down and have a foot race to the bag.
Has really worked hard to improve her game and take what the defense gives her. Has a hit in 7 of her last 8 games. Off speed, missed low, 1 and 2.
No, and that's a big part of the game. You have to really look at the defense because you cannot cover everything. Our Olympic head coach, Ralph Raymond, would always say, you're going to give up something. If you're shading to the 5-6 hole, you're giving up the middle. If you're up the middle, you're opening up the 5-6 hole. So you have to look for those things when you're in the box and figure out, what is the defense giving me? Now, how am I being pitched? And what am I going to do, you know, to try to exploit the weaknesses of the formation, of the pitches?
So right now, Smitty, I'm seeing pretty good space up the middle here for Malloy. Look at how wide left Wiggins is at short.
Absolutely. And so there is where you have to make adjustments, because Pointner and company are probably going to throw you on the inside corner and get you to hit more toward your third baseman or foul, as she just did, and not let her get her hands extended. So that's why at times you'll see, even mid-pitch, some athletes will like scooch back as the pitch is being delivered and try to, you know, barrel up the ball and bring it back up the middle. But it takes a lot of practice to do that.
A scooch is 3 baby steps or 1.5 full steps back.
How did you know
It's
that?
very effective. It is very effective and widely used. Malloy, she's getting some work done in this at-bat. Got a handful of players here at the SEC tournament whose dads were really good football players. Lawyer, a Super Bowl champ with the Patriots. Her sister Amira, also a very good softball player, played at Washington for Heather Tarr. Launches that one, and reaching up to grab it is Warren. Started in, and then a couple of scooches back, Smitty. 2 down.
She's good at scooching and made sure that she was in the right position. So she did. She started over. Good drop step to go back and make sure she gloves it up. Ball, just a laser hit out her. Warren retiring Kiki Malloy.
Amanda Ayala swung at the first pitch, her first at-bat, singled, and then scored on the Allie Shipman sac fly. That's the Tennessee run. For A&M, Mackenzie Herzog, a solo home run in the top half of this third inning.
Tennessee being a little bit more disciplined, really trying to work Pointer into counts.
Two-one. Yanks that one, and that will find the gap. Back to the wall, Ayala rambles into second base with a stand-up double. And a two-out scoring opportunity for Tennessee, and having some fun at the base.
How about Ayala just getting a good pitch? It's a changeup that she's just going to see coming in, rotation on the ball, and just barrels it up. She's a little early, and you could see the way that she still just gets that barrel to ball, drives it into the gap, all that speed. Yeah, she's going to celebrate.
Chopping some wood there.
Yeah.
11th double of the season. She's 2 for 2 on the evening. And Ashley Morgan, who singled her first time up. Oh, scored that a double. She was able to take second base on the throwback in from the outfield. Out of Douglasville, Georgia. Missed some time, late February, early March. Foul ball just outside the base. That would have scored Ayala for sure. Let's check it out.
Morgan just ripped this ball.
Oof.
Very close.
That first bounce was in fair territory. Yep. Hard to tell from that angle if it was over the bag. Emerus Addison had a good look at it. 1-1 from Pointer.
Well, that's where some people might be, ball fans might be like, well, why aren't they replaying that? Once the ball is killed or called foul, it cannot be, even if they reviewed it and found that it was not the correct call, they could not bring it back to life. So that's why Coach Weekly did not use her one of 2 replays.
Coaches have 2 challenges with replay review here at the SEC tournament. And the thinking is perhaps in the not too distant future, might be available for the NCAA tournament and the World Series, but not just yet. And the 2-out walk for Morgan. Shipman hit a deep fly ball her first time up to drive in a run. Number 4 hitter in the lineup, and with that, Haley Lee will walk on out and check on Pointer. And actually, she's not the only one. We're going to have a wholesale meeting out there. Head coaches, assistant coaches, and looks like some bullpen activity here. Grace Uribe, the freshman right-hander from Huntington Beach, getting active.
Oh, I love how Joe Evans goes out and talks to the infield to make sure that they're squared up on positioning. Gary Dill is going to talk to the battery, so really good communication between the coaches.
Hey, on Friday, the weekend series between Vandy and Ole Miss kicks off on the baseball side, 7 Eastern on SEC Network and on the ESPN app. The baseball tournament begins May 25th in Hoover, Alabama. Vanderbilt winning the last one. Number 2 and number 18 head-to-head Friday night. We've got you covered all day tomorrow on the SEC Network for the quarterfinals, and then for the semis on Friday afternoon, we move to ESPN2 starting at 4 Eastern. The championship games Saturday evening. Part of our Championship Sunday, we'll have 4 finals for you. ACC, AAC, Big 12, and SEC. So this is Allie Shipman at the plate. Older sister and SEC legend Maddie Shipman is working with us now. There she is.
Giving a wave.
Don't worry, she's not turning her back on her sister. She's actually watching on a much bigger monitor right in front of her to see how her... Thank you very much, Karen. We appreciate it.
Well, this is the rise ball that is so effective for Rogers. Look at the way she's going to throw it up at your eye. She'll get you to swing through it, but she can throw it on multiple planes, so she lives a lot up at your eyeballs, but she can also entice it in the lower half of the zone, get those swing throughs. And the reason why it's so effective is that she'll throw at the belt. It's like we talked earlier, Beth has the ability to really just get in your head. It gets in your eyes, and then you watch the lower one in the zone that is the most hittable. 7
strikeouts, I believe. Yep. Each was either a low or a high rise from Rogers. 6, 7, and 8 coming up. So she had 10 strikeouts the first time these two teams met in a non-conference game, if you will, and already up to 7 strikeouts tonight through the first 3 innings.
Well, inefficient on that March 6th victory. She threw 109 pitches, which really is good for 10 strikeouts, a rise ball pitcher where you also have a lot of foul balls. Your pitch count typically will be elevated, but Rogers doing a great job in that game. Obviously a little bit more elevated here at 70 pitches now in the top of the 4th.
Well, and it was noteworthy too, Michelle, there all the hits, extra base hits in the 2 meetings this year. So, and we saw with the home run, when that rise ball does not find its right spot, it's fast coming in and even faster going out.
Well, and that's part of the knowledge when you know that you throw up in the part of the zone where it gets barreled up, it gets elevated out of the yard. You live with it, and sometimes you die by it.
That is the 3rd walk. And then the error that was committed in the 2nd inning. So Texas A&M has gotten a free base runner each inning so far.
Well, that's not very typical for Ashley Rogers. Just 39 walks coming into today's game, and already her 3rd.
Trinity Cannon pops up the bunt attempt. Catch is made by Shipman and then undercut by Morgan. Sliding in underneath. Everybody appears to be all right.
Well, this is where communication is so important. Shipman is going to come up, and Morgan, trying to get out of the way, slides down but ends up sliding into the legs of Shipman. Now Shipman with that gear on, that cannot feel good to Morgan. She's very lucky that neither of them were injured.
Looked like she took a knee to the chin, but is okay.
For Texas A&M and Trinity Cannon, the freshman, that's a non-productive out. You get the leadoff walk against a pitcher like Ashley Rogers. You want to try and be productive and move your runner up.
Shaylee Ackerman has not been a threat to steal many bases this year over at first. Here's Rylan Wiggins, reached on an error in the 2nd. Runners in scoring position in both the 1st and 2nd innings, could not cash them in. Finally broke through with the Herzog solo home run in the 3rd. Shipman trying to find it and couldn't hold on. That one had her spun around.
Yeah, that's a tough play. going back to the fence, and you could see the way that the ball was starting to spin back to the field, and that's one of the things is that's why a lot of catchers will try to catch that ball backwards, which she tries to do, but you can see it's running away from her. So look at how she heads toward the backstop, and then it starts to run back away from her, and the reach over in the glove and pops out.
Well, they induced the pop-up anyways, second out. And the number 9 hitter drew up, Kelby Fortenberry.
Center fielder number 7, Kelby Fortenberry.
Grounded to third back in the second inning. And takes a strike. One and one. Just the 2 hits so far for the Aggies, both Herzog, the home run and the double.
Yeah, it's really the traffic on the bases has been the uncharacteristic free passes from Ashley Rogers, the error off of Chelsea Segern's glove. And those obviously did not hurt Tennessee, but those are the at-bats that elongate the game. They elongate the inning. And so when we talk about Ashley Rogers' pitch count, all of that matters.
Fortenberry chopped at it, and Malloy has it out in center. A walk and stranded.
A year and a half ago, you can see how she really gets into her legs. And when she gets into her legs, it helps her get over top of the ball to really move that drop ball down through the zone. So this is take a look at how she's really going to have the back foot off of the pitching rubber and gets into her legs and gets over top the pitch. So you want to throw that drop ball from high to low, not from low to lower. There it is, and then the off speed, so she throws her off speed off that pitch as well. And when you combine those two together effectively, you can make for some really nice outings.
She adds that dip too, you note, in her motion for a little extra oomph, Michelle?
Yep. And she gets down into her legs, so there she is. She dips down, gets into her legs a little bit. Every pitcher's pre-motion is a little bit different, whatever works for them, and that's one of the things I always tell young pitchers when I'm working with them, you know, be unique, have your own style, but you have to be efficient. You have to be loaded so that when you come off the motion, you're loaded to explode. So you can see the way Pointner's got that back foot well off of the pitching rubber, which is the new rule. She dips down, and then she kind of comes up and comes down over the top, and that's really what you want to do. So she's driving high to come back low, and that's what you do on the drop ball. You want to either elevate that release point to throw from high to low and get over that pitch so you get that downward rotation and that really good movement through the zone.
She's working out of the shadow right now, coming across the pitcher's circle. The batters are still in sunlight. And right into the glove of Shaylee Ackerman at first. Next up is Chelsea Segern.
Third baseman number 17, Chelsea Segern.
Senior from Thrall, Texas. Career starter, a 400 hitter last year, just above 300 this season. One of the leaders on this Tennessee squad. Takes a look at a strike there.
Well, just pretty pitch location. Really good job of working those two pitches, the drop, the off speed together, looking very similar, tunneling them.
Winner just missed away with 1-2 count. Seger got under it, popped it up in foul territory. 2 down as Wilder got underneath it.
Beth, I think the other thing that Pointner is doing so well this evening, coming into this game, she had just under 90 innings and she had 34 walks. She's been very efficient. She hasn't hurt herself with the free passes. She's working both sides of the plate. Really doing a good job also of getting ahead early in counts. And every time we talk to coaches, they always say, well, what's the key to the success of your pitchers? Well, they have to get ahead early. And it's like everybody knows that, but you have to say it because it's truly the truth. And it doesn't matter if you're talking to an MLB pitcher or a collegiate pitcher. It is just so much easier in the circle to make sure that you're controlling the at-bat by working from ahead.
Jammed her. Off the short hop. Scooped nicely by Walls. And a 1, 2, 3. As we get deeper into this ball game, a reminder, Texas A&M has never won an SEC tournament game. Searching for their first. Swing and a miss from Bree Warren. Struck out on a rise, swinging in the first and then looking at one in the third.
Last inning, the fourth inning, was the first inning of this game that Rogers did not record a strikeout. So Aggie's trying to figure her out, lay off that rise ball and see if there's something lower in the zone to hit.
Got her. Third time for Warren. And strikeout number 8 for Rogers. 2 outs.
Rogers goes back to that rise ball. Really good locates, puts it at the belt and lets it climb higher. Look at the way she gets underneath that pitch. Really good rotation. She doesn't throw through her spin. She gets that great break.
Smith fouls that one off. Morgan, a couple of walks tonight. A chance here for the Aggies with 2 outs to get the go-ahead run across. They do not have a hit yet with a runner in scoring position, and now Smith quickly down 0-2.
Smith has battled her first couple of at-bats. 2 of the 3 walks that Rogers has given up. Gets behind here early.
Up and out.
And that's where Morgan Smith has been very disciplined, and that's why she's had those 2 walks in the first and third innings. Ability to lay off pitches that are close to the zone. Rogers will entice you.
Called strike 3, caught the corner. Number 9 for Rogers. And it strands the go-ahead at second.
Ashley Rogers using all of her tools. This is a pitch on the outside corner. It's a screwball, picking up her 9th strikeout of the game.
In business, it's never just another day. It's the big sale or the big presentation, the day where everything goes right, or the one where nothing does. With Comcast Business, you get the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses and advanced cybersecurity to protect every device on it, all backed by a dedicated team 24/7. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
A made-to-order, creamy Mediterranean chicken wrap from a drive-thru. The perfect combo of freshly prepared food and ordering Arby's Market Fresh through a tiny little speaker box. Arby's, we have the meats.
And Doug.
Hey, Limu. How great is it that we get to tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance? So you only pay for what you need. I mean, sorry. Whoops. Meow, good evening. Meow. Nope. Oh, what? I'm an emu. No, buddy. Buddy, it's a filter. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is for all the footballers, all the QBs, sidesteppers, and end zone dancers. The NFL celebrates every level of the game with leagues for every kind of player. Let's play. Learn more at playfootball.com.
Our coverage of the SEC Women's Championships continues. Mississippi State and LSU were winners this afternoon. The winner of our matchup going on right now will face Arkansas tomorrow night. Still to come, Kentucky and Georgia, with the winner of that one to face the Crimson Tide. Thursday quarterfinals on the SEC Network get underway noon Eastern. Beth Mowins along with two-time Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith. We got a good one. Bottom 5, 1-1 game. Pitchers duel, Kayla Pointer and Ashley Rogers.
That makes me happy. happy.
This is 8-9 in the top for Tennessee. Hannon lined out to second, her first time up. Mackenzie Herzog is the new pitcher. Mackenzie has been the DP so far today with a couple of doubles and a home run, and now in the circle, Michelle. As Anna Fox lays down the bunt. Sacrifice is effective. And that'll bring up the top of the order with a chance to drive in a run. Kelly Martinez has also made the switch here, and she is on to catch Herzog.
Center fielder number 9, Kiki Malloy.
Kiki Malloy is 0 for 2. All SEC performer. 13 home runs, 36 runs batted in. One of the top producers for the Lady Vols.
This is where you want to be. You get that walk late in the game at the lower half of your lineup. You bunt them into scoring position and you turn over the lineup. Tennessee looking for their first hit with runners in scoring position, and the other thing we always hear from coaches in the postseason, what's going to make it happen? Timely hitting.
Timely. Right down the middle, 3-1, Malloy taking. Out in front. Good pitch from Herzog, 3-2.
Herzog has that rise ball at the top of the zone. She'll throw a drop down low, mixed speeds. Off-speed drop, just outstanding. And she'll use it as very effective setup pitch, so she'll come at Kiki Malloy with that off-speed drop and then come right underneath the hands with the rise ball, that effective velocity. It makes the differential between those two pitches even greater.
Full count. Malloy lays off it. Runners on first and second for Amanda Ayala, who's 2 for 2 with a single and a double tonight.
Right fielder number 13, Amanda Ayala.
Ayala takes a strike. Over 70 miles an hour for Herzog. Reaction time for a batter about the same as a major leaguer facing a Shohei Ohtani fastball. Not much time to think about it. To the right side, second for one, over to first. Not in time. 2 down with Hannon at third. And now it's the number 3 hitter, Ashley Morgan. A double and a walk.
Morgan has been barreling up the ball really well, seeing it. So now going to have to make those adjustments going off of Herzog with that velocity increase.
Go-ahead run is 60 feet away. Checked her swing.
It'll be interesting to see what Tennessee does here if they try to put Ayala in motion, steal a bag, see if they can't create a little havoc here even with the 2 outs.
First and third situation. Fakes going, backhanded, terrific play at second by Walls, flips it to Wiggins. And that saves a run for A&M, and that means we're all even at 1 apiece. As we head to the 6th, Walls with the good glove work.
How about Walls going back up the middle, gloving it up, tossing over to Wiggins. All helps her increase that rise count.
The numbers for Ashley, 97 pitches on the night, the 3 walks, the 1 earned run, the home run by Mackenzie Herzog. Back in the 3rd inning. Gets Ashlyn Walls to chase the rise. Ashlyn just made the nice defensive play to save a run at second. She'll lead things off here in the 6th. 5, 6, 7 due up. Drifting in foul territory, and whoa, Davis able to keep her feet and a smile to record the first out.
Good communication as Davis comes over, calls off Sager, and whoops. I think that line jumped up and caught her foot.
The grass getter. That was something that worked out for all parties. Davis coming over from Arizona, of course, with the expanded rosters due to COVID this year. There were a lot of players around the country that either weren't going to get much playing time where they were because of the seniors sticking around or more freshmen arriving. Ivy wanted an opportunity to play every day. And so the Weeklies worked with Mike Candrea, got things done. It's always great when both sides can agree on something and help each other out. And
yeah, absolutely. Jesse Harper was going to be back for the Wildcats and knew that Ivy wasn't going to get an opportunity really to play shortstop, so opportunity to go east and play in the SEC. And it's interesting talking with her about Pac-12, SEC, the competition. day in and day out.
She used the word intensity. And edge was the other thing. There's an edge about SEC games that she has enjoyed this year. Full count to Ackerman. Of course, Arizona has a massive weekend ahead against UCLA as the Bruins try and wrap up a regular season title in the Pac-12. Both of those teams are in line to host NCAA regional games. UCLA may be the overall #1 seed. I would think it would be the Bruins and Oklahoma.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, if Alabama or Florida wins the SEC tournament, I think they are in the conversation as well.
Absolutely. Alabama with their number of wins against top opponents.
Ackerman hit by the pitch.
Ouch, off the kneecap.
You do not have to move. And this did not hit a meaty part. That hit the bone, and that's the chance you take when you decide not to get out of the way of a pitch inside. And it looks like Ackerman will be lifted here for a pinch runner. She can re-enter. Appears to be smiling, so I guess it's okay. One of the rules I think a lot of softball fans would love to see changed. You at least should have to make an effort to move.
Yeah. I was always moving. I was diving out of the way.
You wanted your at bat, right?
Exactly.
I don't want to walk, I want to hit.
Exactly.
I want to swing. And you didn't want to bruise up, right?
Yeah, that might have been the biggest issue. A little wimpy.
I was trying to cover you. One on here for Trinity Cannon. The pinch runner, Maddie Jaslow.
Rogers now at her pitch count at 109. Equal to that March 7th game. She had 10 strikeouts on the day. So to me, Texas A&M just doing a much better job of working her deeper in the counts, identifying pitches. Yes, she's always going to have her strikeouts. She's got those 9 on the day. Just little victories, trying to work her deeper and deeper.
Activity out in the bullpen. That is Samantha Bender, who has made 12 appearances on the season, just 31 innings of work. I think Karen Weekly wants to talk about why that wasn't a punch out. Boy, that was a big deep breath and a bit of a sigh.
Yeah.
I think frustration perhaps from Rogers. Thought that was strike 3. Oh, but maybe a little gassed and now is shaking that pitching hand.
Yeah, and I think Rogers, you can see on her face, looks like she's uncomfortable.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that Band-Aid that has appeared in-game on her pitching hand. She's hit 2 batters in a row. And she is definitely laboring right now. This is a major development for Tennessee. Not just for tonight, but if they advance and would have to come back and play again tomorrow, looks like Rogers is going to stay for the time being. Look at the aftermath of that pitch. Oof. What is perhaps going on? Michelle, what is perhaps going on under that Band-Aid? She split her finger. Is that why it would be so painful?
Yeah, she could have a blister, could have a slight infection. Sometimes with pitchers, you get big calluses up against your nail where that rise ball comes off of. And remember, she had a severe back injury last year, did not play at all. So she's had to overcome some stuff to get back this year.
Just trying to fight through it. With that go-ahead run again in scoring position, just out in front for Wiggins. One of 3 freshmen in the lineup, all SEC freshman team member.
Had one of the biggest hits of her career against Florida last week.
First career
home run.
Stepped right in and started it short in the SEC. That's no easy task. 2-2 pitch. Wiggins drives that one out to left. Hannon is there. 2 down.
Well, and if you're Rogers and you do have issues, you know, with either blisters, she needs to be thinking about inducing pop-ups, limiting pitches as much as possible.
Kayla Garcia, I believe, is the pinch hitter here in the 9 spot in the lineup. Boy, she is really trying to fight through it. One of the best pitchers in the country. And some discomfort here. And that puts Lady Vol Nation in some discomfort. If they are looking to make a deep run here in the SEC tournament, just underway in their opening game tonight.
And you can see at times that pitch that goes low and outside to lefties or low and inside to righties. Tell maybe the arm comes through, hits the hip.
Garcia, the pinch hitter, with 2 on, 2 out. Struck her out. Rogers fighting through a tough spot with what appears to be a physical ailment on her pitching hand. Gets the big K to end the threat. On the finger, we talked though about the back injury last year, and certainly huffing and puffing a little bit in the dugout. A lot of discomfort in the circle in the top half of the inning for Rogers as she's trying to fight through it, and some tears welling up in her eyes, as you can see there. Her teammates will try and pick her up here in the bottom of the 6th. And it does appear now, perhaps, Michelle, that it is more than just the finger. You know, the frustration as she slammed the glove down on the bench in the dugout. And was doing a lot of that, a lot of bending over, a lot of stretching.
Yeah, and if it was the finger, they'd be looking at it, retaping it.
Well, they are going to retape it now. If they can get a run for her here, she would need to try and just close it out in the top of the 7th. So that is the imperative here for Tennessee, to try and end this quickly. And certainly for Texas A&M, you know, we talked to Joe Evans. She said, hey, our job at the plate is try and get to their bullpen. So they would love to try and stretch this out to see if they can get beyond Rogers and take their hacks against a different pitcher. Winner into the quarterfinals tomorrow against the 2-seed Arkansas. 1 down. The Rhodes House tonight in Tuscaloosa. SEC tournament coverage. Beth Mowins along with Michelle Smith. Texas A&M looking for their first ever SEC tournament win. Tennessee, a 2-time champ. 2006, 2011. Trying to pick up their ailing pitcher tonight, who is playing through some pain. That appeared to be a back brace that she was carrying, and there that goes now. So that is even more troubling than the finger issue. Looks like a heating pad.
Yeah, trying to keep her loose in between innings.
Riley West with 1 out.
And that's, you know, you get them into a tournament like this, especially with a defined ace like Tennessee has. There's a lot of clubs that pitch by committee. Texas A&M is a perfect example of that. Trying to get through a tournament where you have to win 4 days, 4 games in a row, at times can be tough unless you're scoring a ton of runs.
Two down. The pop to short. Chelsea Segern will come up. Both sides have had an opportunity the last couple of innings to try and push across the go-ahead run. Both unsuccessful. Tennessee's run back in the first inning on a sac fly. A&M's run in the 3rd, a solo home run from Mackenzie Herzog, who is now on in relief in the circle. Another pop-up. Bree Warren's got it. 1, 2, 3 inning. We are headed to the 7th. And the hottest bat in the ball game is due up. Can Mackenzie Herzog do more damage for A&M? Of course, the developing news is the health of Ashley Rogers. In tremendous pain the last inning and between innings. She's going to face the top of the order again here. 4th time through. And Haley Lee, very dangerous with those 22 home runs, 2 shy of the school record. And that is the 3rd hit batter in the last 5 to come to the plate as Rogers continues to try and fight through the pain.
Rise ball that just, Rogers is not getting under that rise ball as much as she was earlier. Rides in and hits Lee on the arm. And typically, Beth, when you're throwing a rise ball, part of throwing that pitch effectively is really leaning back, bending back, and getting underneath that pitch. And when you're in a position where it's painful, it's very difficult to do that. And so she's basically aborting or coming out of her motion early, and therefore her arm is running into the side of her hip, and that pitch, instead of rising up and staying under it, it's more like a screwball, and it's starting to run into hitters.
We have a pinch runner that's going to come on and run for Haley Lee, who can re-enter. That's Star Ferguson, who will come on to run. So we saw them between innings taping up Rogers' finger as Mackenzie Herzog steps in. Last time there was a 4-hit game in the SEC tournament, it was Emily Carasoni 6 years ago for Auburn. Herzog, a couple of doubles and a solo home run.
Back to your point too about the hit batters, 3 of them in the last 2 innings, all right-handed hitters.
Even from across the country, Holly Rowe, Hall of Fame Stadium reporter Holly Rowe, checking in with us to report that the back support was the Venom electrical drum belt. It's similar to one that Elena Deladon uses. Our podcast partner Jen Schroeder also chiming in. It's from a company called Hypervolt, and so that's what they were just using to try and get Rogers well enough to go out there and pitch again. That's why she's a Hall of Fame Stadium reporter.
Always on the job.
Yes. Working WNBA this weekend, the start of the 25th season. But we hope to have Holly with us for the selection show on Sunday. On the road to the Women's College World Series.
Rogers staying completely away from the rise ball. Everything has been low in the zone. Her velocity, velo, is now down, low 60s.
Can Herzog capitalize on a mistake here and help the Aggies grab the late lead? Full count, struck her out. Rogers still got a little bit left. 11th strikeout for Ashley.
Wow, just adds a little more when she needs to. She goes right at Herzog, though. The velocity is not quite as high, so it's a fastball low. And then she starts mixing speeds a little bit, the lower outside. You can see that she just doesn't have the velo, doesn't get the low end pitch. She goes off speed again down, and then the strikeout pitch back underneath the hands on the inside corner. Take a look at the location of this pitch. It is perfect. It is a low rise, not a ton of movement, but got it past Herzog.
11th game of the season with double-digit strikeouts. 20 swings and misses for Rogers tonight. And a big one there of Mackenzie. Bree Warren is 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Looking for some contact here for A&M.
Ashley shaken, getting to the pitch she wants.
Warren tries to drop that one in opposite and hard charging his hand and out and left to make the catch. 2 down. Boy, if you're watching this too and you're a Tennessee defender, you are going all out, everything to help your pitcher get through this and back her up.
How about the fight of Ashley Rogers, too? You can tell that from the dugout, they're trying to throw pitches lower in the zone, get away from that rise ball, and she shook to get to the pitch she wanted. She knows even though it's going to hurt, that's her pitch. It's the pitch she wants to throw.
almost in a situation, Smitty, where you throw those cards away and say, hey, whatever you want to throw, you go right ahead.
Exactly. Got to be where you know in your gut you can do it.
Well, it's a pitching coach that has walked in those shoes, that has toed that same rubber at Megan Rhodes Smith. Working with the battery of Rogers and Shipman. 2-1. Still high 60s.
Yeah. Well, and against Herzog, she had dropped it all the way down to the low 60s. 60-62 was taking something off the pitches, and I think that's why, you know, McKenzie was not swinging early in the count.
0-6 in their SEC tournament history. 4 of those Aggie losses by a single run. One of them in extras since they joined the league. Smith draws the walk, and that'll push the go-ahead into scoring position.
Fourth walk of the game, 3 hit batters, so 7 free passes, so uncharacteristic. Obviously because that control, some of the duress that Rogers is throwing under.
Can they get that timely hit? They're 0 for 7 with a runner out there at second base. Both sides want to talk about it a little bit. That'll give us a chance to remind you that we've got another game coming up next. The finale of the evening, Kentucky the 6 seed, Georgia the 11 seed. And then our action starts tomorrow on the SEC Network at noon Eastern with the top seed Florida and the 9 seed Mississippi State.
How about Mississippi State? Talk about teams coming in on a roll.
Yeah, what's that? They won today for their 8th straight, and then they will run into the top seed tomorrow. Tim Walton's going to be on the set with the ladies between games at the conclusion of this one. Shared the regular season crown with Arkansas. One to Walls, got under it. Room out there in left center. Malloy will take charge, and that will end the threat. Chance for Tennessee to walk it off, and force this into extra innings. 7, 8, 9 in the lineup, a chance to end it for Tennessee. And we'll start out with Ivy Davis, who's got 15 home runs on the season. Tops on the Tennessee team. For 2, flew out to center and grounded out to second.
And when you get in these games that are pitcher's duels, you really have to hunt pitches well. You have to go up with a game plan and really execute it. And obviously from pitcher to pitcher that changes. So at this point in the game, now facing a new pitcher, Tennessee has to figure out what's the pitch they want to hunt against Herzog.
Tried for the rise there, got under it. 1-2 count. Oh, comes right back with the off speed, 1 down.
And that's the pitch that Tennessee has not really barreled up or seen at all this evening. Pointer as well used the off speed very effectively. Herzog comes back with it at a key moment to pick up the strikeout. So she uses the rise ball to set up the off speed. Many times we see it the opposite way. The off speed will set up the rise ball.
This is Kaylin Hannon. walked her last time up, stranded at third. Tennessee had a chance back in the 5th inning, could not get Kaylin home.
There it is again. That's the pitch that Herzog is throwing so well that they're not seeing. It's got that little bit of off-speed drop rotation to it, the explosive rise ball, the ability to work both sides of the plate.
$7-10 matchup. This is a good one tonight here at the Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa. The 24th annual SEC tournament. Oh-2 from Herzog. Ralph and Karen Weekly, 24 SEC tournament wins, 3rd most in league history. Pat Murphy of Alabama with the most, and former LSU coach Yvette Girard. One more win than the Weeklies, so they could move into a tie for 2nd here tonight. 2 down. And we are 1 out away from our first extra innings affair of this SEC championship.
Second baseman number 4, Hannah Fox.
And Fox in the 9 spot. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. And perhaps a conversation here between Ralph and Karen about just how much longer Ashley Rogers could go. She's got the device on to keep her back loose in the dugout, and after a pitch in the at-bat, that may be it for Anna Fox. They're gonna go to a pinch hitter here. Madison Weber. Hey, don't forget, SEC Now is coming up next, live from out in deep right field, out in the Brickyard. Alyssa, Bro, Shipman, all ready to roll. Madison, a SEC champion with Tennessee. Bro, an SEC champion with Alabama. They've got the highlights, interviews, and more. First round coverage. I think they're going to have a visit from Tim Walton. Coming up between games. Madison Weber.
Weber with a bit more power than Fox, trying to get something started here in the 9 spot, turn it over and hope to get Kiki Malloy up. 2 outs in the inning, trying to extend it, see if they can't walk it off.
Watching Ashley Rogers of late in the circle, they would love to try and knock this out right here in the next few at-bats. Had an at-bat in the Mississippi State Tournament, a double to drive in a run last weekend.
Number 10, Sydney Ackerman.
Instead of getting under that pitch, staying off to the side. Trying to make some adjustments.
Ole Miss walked it off.
Fighting through issue on one of her fingers on her pitching hand, and also fighting through what appears to be some back pain. Six, 7, and 8 are due up for the Aggies. Shaylee Ackerman.
Ackerman was hit by a pitch at both Ackerman and Cannon. The next hitter as well, the righties. Looks like when she's not able to either get under that rise ball or just comes off to the side, runs that pitch into the righties. You can see A&M off the plate, trying to make some adjustments as well. And that off-speed pitch that Ashley is throwing now, it's been coming and showing up about 40 feet, getting into the dirt, but trying to use that a little bit more to set up some of her harder pitches since her velocity is down just a little bit.
I don't know if you've been in this situation before, Michelle, but I would imagine strikes are of the utmost importance in your mind in the circle.
Absolutely, and it's very difficult when you're pitching in pain because you know it's coming. So even if you're standing there and it doesn't hurt, you know when you throw the pitch, it's going to hurt. And so at the end of the pitch, a lot of times you end up making adjustments because you just can't help it. And so therefore your velocity is down, your control is down, and that's what we've seen in this game from Ashley Rogers. Just not very typical to have 7 free passes, 3 hit batters, 4 walks.
They had a pitcher up in the bullpen, what, back in the 6th inning, I think, when this originally cropped up, but they are going to dance with the one that brung them. And Rogers has certainly earned this opportunity.
And you can tell Rogers wants it. She wants to be out there as hard as this is, as painful as it is. She wants to fight through this.
Two-two pitch. Boy, Ackerman just keeps Rogers out there a little bit longer.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat.
Sophomore out of Mesa, Arizona. Has actually fought through a back injury of her own this year. Missed their late season series against Kentucky and Florida, the last 6 games that were all losses for the Aggies. And now back in time for the tournament. Wow. Does not appear, as you've referenced, the velocity has dropped a little bit as the game has gone on, as she has the ability anymore to blow it by.
And that's why we're seeing that off-speed pitch come in that she doesn't use quite as much when she is in normal playing condition. You can tell she just does not have the command of that pitch.
And another full count. Wow, what a job here by Ackerman.
Ackerman just missing that ball. Anytime a hitter fouls a ball straight back, you know they're just missing it.
12th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Ooh, that sent him running in the bullpen. That's actually Kentucky's pitchers warming up to get ready for the next game, Kentucky and Georgia. Autumn Humes, Miranda Stoddard out there. They're able to watch on the big screen in the Alabama clubhouse down there. And the punch-out, strikeout, and the emotion from Ashley Rogers, her 12th of the night.
How about the emotion from Ashley Rogers? This is a curveball on the outside corner, perfectly placed. Great ability to put that ball on the corner of the plate, running it away, and the emotion, wanting that out so bad.
Caught at second after Cannon got jammed, 2 down. What an effort by Ashley Rogers tonight. Texas A&M trying to punch something through here. Rylan Wiggins with 2 outs.
Rogers with 12 strikeouts. That curveball in the outside corner. She's used all of her pitches, her rise ball, her screwball. Just trying to figure out what she can work and bend without putting herself in a bad position.
Flares out to right, caught by Ayala. Amanda's coming up. So to face Mackenzie Herzog. Tennessee's run way back in the first on an Allie Shipman sac fly. A&M's run in the third on a Herzog solo home run.
Herzog has been outstanding since coming into this game. 3 innings of work, has not given up a hit. Producing equal flyouts and groundouts.
Top 3 in the order have been in scoring position 4 times tonight, but made it home just once.
Neither of the clubs have had a hit with runners in scoring position. Not that there's been a lot there, but and 2 out hits, only 1 in the game. So the pitchers have absolutely been shutting down the offense.
Yeah, combined 0 for 12 runners in scoring position and just 1 for 17 with 2 outs tonight.
Both teams 1 for 19 combined with runners on, and this is where I think it's important at some point in the game, Beth, you have to start putting the defense in motion. Even if you have someone on base who potentially is not a base stealer, you have to try to do something to start pushing a run across.
All SEC outfielder Kiki Malloy crossed up on the off speed, 1 down.
Well, look at the way this pitch is just going to come out of the hand. Great over the top rotation, and Malloy just well out in front of that pitch. The Aggie dugout liking what they see.
One down for Ayala. Amanda singled and scored in the first, doubled in the third, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Herzog stays away, 2-0. First 2 batters back in the first inning got 2 hits. They have just 1 hit since. Off of the starter Pointer and the reliever Herzog.
And it's all been because of that last pitch, the off speed. Tennessee has been well off balance, not identifying the mix in speed and trying to barrel that up, timing.
Outside corner, 3-1.
And that's why the off speed is so effective, because you can throw it in the dirt, you can roll it in, goes to the backstop, no big deal, but it helps set up your next pitch. That 70-mile-an-hour screwball on the outside corner just looks that much faster.
In the dirt. And the game winner is aboard for Tennessee with 1 out.
That's a big pitch. Just throw that particular pitch on that count, on a 3-1 count. Shows how much faith they have in Herzog's ability to throw that pitch, to call it from the dugout.
Caitlin Parsons. She is the game winner now over at first. Trying to walk it off here in the bottom of the 8th. Winner moves on to the quarterfinals, and Arkansas tomorrow night. The 2 seed and the regular season co-champs with Florida. Ashley Morgan. Doubled in the first. Walked in the third. Hit into a fielder's choice in the 5th.
It'll be interesting to see what Tennessee does here. Parsons is 14 for 14 on the year and stolen bases, so definitely a speed threat.
There she goes, the throw down, and they got her. Kelly Martinez, the backup catcher.
And you can see it's not a straight steal, and I was wondering, it looked like she paused. There might have been a communication. I don't know if she thought this was a hit and run, but she definitely was not on the move. That is a base running mistake. Martinez gets the ball down to Wiggins with the tag, and Tennessee just runs themselves right out of an opportunity.
Two outs for Ashley Morgan. Knocked down by Herzog. And we are headed to the 9th here in Tuscaloosa. Beth Mowins and 2-time Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith. To the 9th we go. It's 9-1-2. And Ashley Rogers is still out there.
Rogers' pitch count now up to 160.
Wow. With a sore back.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's a high pitch count when you're feeling fabulous.
Started about 4 innings ago, and she has been playing through the pain. Here's the 1-1. Fortenberry, that should be playable. 1 out.
On that last rise ball, Rogers taking a little bit off it, and I think really that's where she needs to be right now. She needs to try to throw that rise ball mid-60s, no faster, and just spin it and try to induce a lot of pop-ups.
All right, so this is it right here now. Here's Haley Lee, followed by Mackenzie Hertog for Texas A&M. With Bree Warren due up after that, so this is the meaty part of the order here.
Lee with those 22 home runs was about a foot short of her 23rd earlier tonight.
5th time she is seeing Rogers this evening. A couple of strikeouts, that deep fly ball to center in the 5th, and then got hit by a pitch in the 7th.
Looks like Joe Evans just re-entered her.
Junior from Kingwood, Texas. With the home runs, 950 slugging, 540 OB. She'll take the walk if you give it to her. Now Rogers has her in a bind, 0-2. Wildcats are checking their watches. Hey, we were supposed to start this thing an hour ago.
It's always the fun part of tournament ball. Never 100% sure when you're going to be starting.
Fun for who?
Sitting on the berm eating snacks until it's your time.
Got her to reach. 2 down. That's a big get.
That is a huge
Rogers.
get. Yeah, her 13th strikeout of the night, Beth, and she just takes a little off her curveball.
All right, Mackenzie Hertog, couple of doubles, and this home run ball, Michelle.
Rise ball in the upper half, and she just takes it oppo. Herzog with so much power, ability to be a game changer on both sides of the plate. And if you're Herzog in this position, you're thinking yard, you're hunting that one pitch with 2 outs.
Yeah, 428 this year. Her batting average with 2 outs. And what's that, 1/6 of her home runs this year have come off of Ashley. Ooh. That was a stretch, 2-2.
Yeah, that's where the rise ball can extend the zone.
Oh, actually wanted that. Does not get the call at the knees.
Nice pitch. It's a curveball trying to get underneath the hands. That is a pretty pitch. I would want that too. Coach defending her pitcher.
That is jacked! And Mackenzie Hertog goes yard for the 2nd time! Aggies take the lead on a 3-2 pitch. And Karen Weekly is out of the dugout and all over the home plate umpire. She thought that was a swing Herzog should never have gotten.
How about Herzog taking this pitch and just driving it out of the yard? A rise ball trying to get underneath the hand, and Herzog just barrels it up and drives this one out of the right field line. She goes oppo earlier in the game, and this one she pulls, and the bench is pumped. Texas A&M looking for their first SEC victory. She has gotten every hit for Texas A&M tonight.
2 doubles, 2 solo home runs. And A&M is now 3 outs away from that elusive postseason win. Her 3rd off of Rogers this year, her 2nd of the night. This was the non-strike that Tennessee wanted.
This was a 2-2 count that curveball called a ball and went to 3-2. The rise ball peppered out of the yard.
Reaching up to grab it at short is Ivy Davis for the 3rd out. Herzog hitting it out of the park, and now.
How about the battle, the fight, back and forth, both these clubs? This is what mayhem is all about.
4, 5, and 6 for Tennessee. They've got a strong RPI, a good strength of schedule. They are one of the 20 teams that will be considered to host NCAA regional action. comeback here would certainly help their cause.
Yeah, this tournament can make you, can break you. It mostly makes you, especially if you do well.
Yeah. Shipman drove in that run back in the first. They had 2 hits that inning. They've only had 1 since. Amanda Ayala's double.
Well, and it's really been the off-speed pitch that has been the nemesis for Tennessee tonight. Kayla Pointer got the start and was outstanding working that drop, an off-speed drop, and then Mackenzie Herzog coming in and using more velocity, mixing pitches a little bit more up in the zone. It's been a great team effort so far for A&M, who when they play well, they can play with anybody.
If they do close it out and meet up with Arkansas, they did not see each other during the regular season. Aggies have wins this year over LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Assistant coach Kara Dill over there, former Kentucky star. Off the bag and a good bounce for Tennessee, and the tying run is on. Game winner at the plate. Is that the break that the Lady Vols were looking for?
All right, here we go.
Now Shipman just gets all into this ball. Look at the high leg kick and just drives it down the line off of the bag, so no opportunity for Cannon to be able to field this up. Well struck by Allie Shipman.
And if you're Tennessee, you just want A&M to think about things a little bit. 0 for 6 in their SEC tournament history, 4 of those by a run. They had Florida on the ropes in 2 games last weekend and got walked off twice.
And that was the big message from Joe Evans this week, how to finish a game.
A base running error tripped up Tennessee back in the 8th, and now they've got speed over at first with Treasury Poindexter. Riley West, freshman from California. Low from Herzog, 1-1.
Well, this is where situational hitting's so important, making sure that you're putting yourself in a position to get something out of every swing.
2-1. And 1.
Yeah, I think that first view you could see the ball on the glove.
This is the one here.
Yeah, right here. Good job by Ashlyn Walls to stretch out. Makes such a big difference when you go get that ball.
You would need indisputable video evidence to overturn it. The call could stand, which means there's no evidence to change it, or the call could be confirmed, which may be the first out of the inning. And Tennessee would still have that tying run on base, so albeit over at first. The reaction from Ashley Rogers in the Tennessee dugout. Oof. She wanted that one. Chelsea Segern in the 6th spot, 0 for 3.
Segern, a 300-plus hitter with power. Aggressive first pitch out swinging. And this is 2nd time through now for Tennessee, seeing Herzog. Better idea of her pitches, what she's throwing, what's working. Seeing that off speed that's been so effective against Tennessee tonight. And there it is, first time through the lineup. That pitch fooled Tennessee a lot more than it is 2nd time through the lineup.
And that will move the runner. West in scoring position.
Mackenzie Herzog threw 2 innings back in that March outing, did not give up a hit. So that hit by Allie Shipman was just the first that Tennessee has gotten off of her.
And their first hit in the ball game since the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
Just their 4th overall. The hits have been hard to come by, unless you're that woman right there, Mackenzie Herzog. She's got 4 of them. All of them for Texas A&M. A couple of doubles and a couple of solo home runs. And she's now worked over 4 innings in the circle on in relief here of Kayla Pointer. Tennessee's run was scored 8 innings ago on a sac fly in the bottom of the 1st.
It's really been this lower half of the lineup that has made no noise whatsoever. Big opportunity now for Ivy Davis, who does have 15 home runs on the year. One of the top RBI hitters for Tennessee this year.
Looks like you got a pinch runner going on out at 2nd base. Josie Willingham. That's the tying run.
Entering the game to run for Tennessee, number 12, Josie Willingham.
Segern at first is the game winner. Herzog struck out Davis on a change in the 7th. Got to look at the off speed there. 55 miles an hour, 1-0, and now Herzog, some issues finding the strike zone.
Yeah, and that off speed is an important part of setting up all our other pitches. Needs to be able to throw that for a strike.
A couple of walks in the last 5 batters that she has faced.
is where Davis needs to be aggressive on a good pitch. Key on a good pitch.
Ivy Davis, the gapper out to left center, and that's going to tie it up. Tennessee going for the win. The throw to the plate, and Ivy Davis with the 2-run double wins it for the Lady Vols. The walk-off for Tennessee, and the heartbreak continues for Texas A&M. Just missing out on their first ever SEC tournament win. And Tennessee takes it away. Ivy Davis